Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on Hartwick College MSM Launch eSummit 2021 Live. MSM is excited to have partnered with Hartwick College and will want all MSM affiliated agents to get a glimpse of what Hartwick College has to offer for your students who can turn into future leaders and experience one of the best student lives in the US. Our attendees are in the process of joining the webinar. In the meantime, on behalf of all of us in Hartwick College and MSM, I hope you, your families, and all your colleagues are all safe and well during this extreme times of the second wave outburst. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen from all parts of the world. I would like to thank you all for taking your time out and being here today with us for this exciting Launch eSummit. My name is Jim George, Manager Global Marketing Office, overseeing US institutions at MSM, and I'll be your moderator for today's webinar. I'm delighted and pleased to introduce today's facilitators, Dr. Patricia L. Delaney, Director of Collaboration and Innovation, and Caitlin Humer, who is the Administrative Assistant of Global Education. A heartily welcome both of you for joining this webinar. Before I hand over the mic to Dr. Patty, I will run through the housekeeping requirements that are needed for today's event and the Zoom webinar platform. As a reminder, everyone is currently muted and will encourage you to type in your questions and comments throughout the presentation in the Q&A session present in the control panel. Later on, after the presentation, we'll have a brief moment for question and answer, at which point you will also be encouraged to type in your questions. In case you're facing any technical issues, please feel free to drop in a message in the chat box. The webinar is recorded and will be posted on our YouTube channel afterwards. For those who have just joined in, welcome to today's webinar on Hartwick College MSM Launch eSummit 2021 Live. So without further ado, let's kickstart things off by welcoming our partner presenters. Dr. Patty, over to you.
Thank you so much, Jim. I would just like to echo how excited we are to be here with you today. Both Caitlin and myself are looking forward to spending the next 45 minutes or so sharing all the details about Hartwick College and all the wonderful things that we have to offer for our international students. We do realize that this is a very difficult time in many places in the world, including in the United States as we battle with the COVID-19 pandemic. And so we hope that today's presentation will give us hope and inspiration for better days that will be coming ahead as we look to the end of the pandemic and the ability for all of us to travel again and to be with one another in a variety of different settings. So for the next half an hour or so, we have a brief PowerPoint presentation which will give an overview of Hartwick College and our offerings, our location, and the wonderful services that we provide to both international students and US students. Hartwick College is a private, small liberal arts college located in the beautiful region of Central New York, about 3.5 hours from New York City. The view that you see here on the first slide is the view from the top of our campus with a gorgeous overlook over the beautiful valley below. So at Hartwick, we believe that students will feel a sense of belonging from their very first days with us on campus. And so we welcome you virtually to Hartwick College, where here you will belong. Next slide, please, Jim. So we're going to start by talking a little bit about life on our campus. As I mentioned, we have a beautiful residential campus with approximately 1,500 students who live together throughout the academic year and into the summers as well, and enjoy a rich and diverse series of experiences together. An important part of that life on campus is our Global Education Office, which provides a number of opportunities for students to engage with one another and to experience life with other students on campus. So I'm going to ask Caitlin to say just a word about her role in our Global Education Office.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Okay, so yeah, my office, we're responsible for, first of all, welcoming our international students onto campus, and I'm one of the people who would help pick up students at the airport and coordinate their orientation and also introduce them to different events and clubs on campus. So a few things that we do throughout the year is we have like a Taste the World festival where a lot of international students can like prepare their own foods and share it with their community. And then we have like cultural festivals. We take the students on trips to various nearby cities like New York City, Philadelphia, and DC. So hopefully after the pandemic, we'll be able to start those up again and have like coffee hours where we invite our international students and other domestic students. And yeah, we also have a lot of different opportunities where students can apply to go abroad on our international programs, such as in January, we have different like 1 month trips or programs where faculty, they bring our students and they go to like different places in Europe and Asia or South America. And international students also have the opportunity to apply for international internships. And we have a fellowship on campus called the Cyrus Mary Fellowship, and the past 2 winners were actually both international students. And I'm hoping to have one of our students join us later today, and she can talk more about her experience.
Thank you so much, Caitlin. Jim, can we go to the next slide, please? So at Hartwick, we live in a beautiful place, and our experience, as Caitlin described, is all-encompassing for our students. Of course, at the heart of what we do, next, Jim, is our academic experience. We are, of course, a primarily undergraduate institution with world-class academic facilities. We have excellent world-class laboratories. We have renowned and accomplished faculty who work closely with our undergraduate students. We have excellent arts facilities and the full complement of institutional requirements necessary for students to engage in substantial and significant and high quality educational opportunities. But in addition to learning, our students have an opportunity to grow as individuals through a variety of co-curricular offerings on campus. Athletics are a very important part of the Hartwick experience, and almost 1/3 of our undergraduate students participate in our Division III athletic experience. Some of our international students currently are athletes, and we look forward to having many more international athletes in the future. We have a variety of team-based sports, and in addition to those, our coaches are especially interested in recruiting international students to participate in our more individualized sports, such as track and field, cross-country running, and swimming. So we would encourage you to think about recruiting students who could participate in those. In addition to our wonderful athletics, we have a variety of other co-curricular opportunities at Hartwick. Because we are a residential college, of course, there are programming opportunities and activities for students to engage in almost 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have a dedicated co-curricular team which works with students to develop clubs, to engage in activities together, as Caitlin mentioned, to do short-term travel, and to experience the full range of what a residential college has to offer. Everything from arts activities to Greek and sorority life, which enables us to, sorry, Jim, now you can move to the next slide, which enables students not only to play together and to learn together, but also to grow alongside one another. As a residential college, we find that our students develop very deep, meaningful relationships with one another from their very first days at Hartwick. We have a special orientation called WIC Week, which stands for Hartwick, of course. So WIC Week is our orientation, which happens just as students arrive, to get them oriented to the college, to our campus, to the various facilities that are available to them, and to enable them to begin to develop the friendships that will carry them throughout their time at Hartwick. Caitlin's office arranges a special orientation just for international students to prepare them in their cross-cultural adjustment. We find that this experience is a wonderful opportunity for students to bond with one another, to connect with peers from all over the world, and to feel prepared to jump right in to the regular WIC Week once the domestic students have arrived. Next, Jim. So this video, this short video that we'll play next, hopefully will give you a little bit of a sense of what the physical campus is like, and also what the vibe is like, what the culture is like on campus, so that you'll have a sense of what students experience when they come to join us in Oneonta.
This is Hartwick College. And great news, you're going to be one of us in August. So I bet you're wondering what it's like to be a student here. Well, it can be a lot of things. Like one night, you might head to your RA's program, grab a slice of free pizza, and play awesome games with your new friends. You could stay after to talk to your RA about choosing housing for next year, and picking a roommate. Or maybe one day you'll have a super big chem test to study for, and you'll stay up super late to study for it. But then, on your way to class, you stumble across the massage chair set up on the doer balcony. Ah, perfect. The student-run Hartwick Campus Activities Board puts on free events like this all the time. And if you show up to bingo, a Hartwick favorite, you might be lucky enough to win the biggest thing of cheese balls you've ever seen. Some of us come from big cities with lots of people, and some from small towns where a lot of people look a lot alike. Hartwick is a place with all kinds of people, and plenty of ways to get to know each other better. Like Carnival, a celebration of the diversity of humanity, or Safe Zone training, where you can learn about LGBTQ issues and how to be a better ally. Or the Women's Center, or HIA, the Hartwick Identity Alliance. There are so many events and activities open to the whole campus, and you don't have to go looking for them. Text messages and announcements will be coming your way. After enjoying some of Hartwick's world-famous chicken nuggets one day, you might want to grab your roommate and check out the different Greek organizations on campus. Hartwick sororities and fraternities become friends and family, and they make their mark on the community, volunteering at the food shelter, raising money for St. Jude's Hospital, and helping in the nearby animal shelter. They also organize blood drives, service projects, and social events that everyone seems to love. Students here also love the outdoors. Our 425-acre campus rises up Oyarin Hill for a 30-mile view across the Susquehanna Valley. You can take the free shuttle out to Pine Lake, check out the environmental campus, and go canoeing or kayaking. If you can't get enough, you can live there in the cabins, close to the lake and hiking trails, plus a climbing wall and high ropes course. It's only 15 minutes away from our main campus, but it feels like a whole other world. And if you want to give back, we have that too. To connect with our campus and community needs, check out the student-run Office of Community Involvement and Volunteerism. Yeah, it'll look great on your resume, but volunteering just feels really good. Give more than 200 hours to the community, and you'll even get service cords to wear at graduation. On those days that you wake up feeling not so great without so much as a Band-Aid, that's where the Perella Health Center comes in. No car, no problem. It's a quick walk across campus, and it's super easy to set up a visit with a counselor or the nurse practitioner. If you have to get off campus for an appointment or to pick up a prescription, Hartwick's Health Squad will give you a ride for free. We've all heard of the Freshman 15, right? Well, if you decide that's not for you, you can hit up the Campbell Fitness Center a few times a week. Our Director of Wellness and her team of student personal trainers are right there if you need them to show you the equipment and give you insider tips. If you're up for it, sign up for a free spin class one week and a Zumba class and an HIIT course the next week. After a great workout, you might just be in the mood for an iced caramel macchiato at John Christopher's Cafe, just across Frisbee Field. One day, you'll probably have just one of those days. You know, where you accidentally lock your keys and ID card in your room. But then, lucky for you, campus safety is around 24/7 to let you back in after classes are out. Officers can even offer you an escort if you ever feel uncomfortable. It's good to know they're always there for you, walking campus and responding when needed, just making sure we're all safe. So, whether you're the type of student who does great in a big study group, or the type who likes to study on your own, Hartwick has the environment to support you. And all of this is just a little of what it's like to be a student at Hartwick.
So hopefully that video gives you a little bit of a sense of some of the many different social activities, programs, and opportunities which are present for students at Hartwick College. Now we want to focus a little bit on what sets us apart as an institution, what makes Hartwick unique and differentiates us from other similar institutions throughout the United States. So here we're going to talk about the approach that we take to welcoming students from abroad, from outside the US, but also our students that come to us from all parts of the United States. As you've already seen, the college is located in a very beautiful place, in a rural area that's just a few hours from the major metropolitan areas of the Northeast of the United States. And so we're close to Philadelphia, to Boston, to New York City, and even to Montreal. And many of our students visit those places on a regular basis, either through the formal programs that Caitlin organizes in the Office of Global Education, or through informal trips that students take together with one another. But the ability to travel to those places is really based on the fact that we have a home base at Hartwick and in Oneonta, which is a very special place in and of itself. We believe that the Hartwick College experience, whether students spend 3 years or 4 years with us, really enables them to be prepared to thrive in the world, and that creating a safe and welcoming space where they can grow and learn and play together enables them to feel prepared to launch into their careers, their professional lives, and their personal lives after they finish with us. So our whole goal really is to have them feel like Hartwick is their special place, and to make them feel like they're part of our community from the very beginning. Next. And so the way that we do that, of course, is primarily and foundationally through our highly regarded, very attractive, very interesting, and very diverse curricular offerings. We have over 40 majors and programs at Hartwick and over 44 minors. Our student to faculty ratio is 10 to 1, and our average class size is just 15 students. So the vast majority of our classes are quite small, some of them as small as 4 or 5 or 6 students with one faculty person, and the majority of them are fewer than 20 students. We're quite proud of our academic experience and the high quality academic opportunities that our faculty present to our student body. Next. As you saw in the video, in addition to our main campus, which has 425 acres, we have an environmental campus called Pine Lake, which is located just a few miles away from main campus. The environmental campus is home to hiking trails, to a high ropes course, and to a number of environmental laboratories and classrooms where students can do field-based work. It's also a location where a lot of our WIC Week activities and international student orientation activities also take place. It feels very much like a summer camp where students have an opportunity to sit around a campfire and learn from one another and explore nature together while they get to know each other well. In addition to that campus, of course, the video highlighted the number of student organizations that we have, over 60 different clubs engaging in everything from the arts to service to music, musical performance, gaming. We do have a variety of international student clubs, and our international students are among our most active student leaders on campus. And we have a total of 19 NCAA athletic teams that compete for Hartwick. We have a grand total of over 18,000 alumni, graduates of Hartwick College who live all over the world and who are tremendous supporters of the institution. As part of our new strategic initiative, we're engaging directly with many of those alumni and enabling them to partner with current students through a virtual program of alumni mentors. And so any student coming to Hartwick College is eligible to be paired with an alumnus working in their field of interest so that they can get career tips, resume tips, and just get to know a professional that's working in their specific area. In addition to the alumni connections, we also offer on an annual basis over $60 million of financial aid, and over 90% of our students receive such aid. Next, Jim. So as we think about what we promise to our students when we pull all of this together, I think it's important to recognize that as an institution, we're very aware that students have a range of choices when they are looking at higher education in the United States. And so our promise to our Hartwick students is that we will prepare them for a range of options in an increasingly interconnected global world. So if we could just go back to the previous slide. Sorry, next one, Jim. One more. Thank you. So, so at Hartwick, we have over 40 different majors, and students can choose a variety of combinations of majors and minors to meet their specific needs and their specific interests. Our most popular majors are listed on the slide here. Our largest majors are in the fields of nursing, biology, business, psychology, and criminal justice. We also have quite a large number of students which choose to minor in one of those fields and major in a smaller subject area. And of course, we offer majors and minors in all of the traditional fields for the liberal arts. So students can major in chemistry or English literature or anthropology. We have a very strong arts program and a number of students who major or minor in music or in the arts. But in addition to those most popular majors and the traditional liberal arts college majors, we also offer degrees in several unusual areas, including cognitive science, environmental sustainability, graphic communications, and we have an opportunity for students to design their own major with our ISP program, our independent study program. Many students these days have very tailored or narrow interests, and so long as they can combine subject matter from a variety of different fields, from the fields that we offer on campus at Hartwick, they can essentially design any major that they choose. We have a number of, this has become an increasingly popular opportunity for many of our current students to double major and design their own major for their second opportunity. We really encourage students to study what they love. And because we offer such a diverse array of academic opportunities at Hartwick, we find that most students are really able to tailor their experience, to customize their experience in a way that they find exciting and rewarding. Next, please. In addition to our traditional four-year program, which is the length of time during which most undergraduates in the United States complete their undergraduate career, we have a special offer at Hartwick College, which we call Degree in 3. This is an opportunity for students to complete their full bachelor's degree in just 3 years' time. The vast majority of our majors have this option, so we currently have 27 participating majors. Students who enroll in the Degree in 3 program get priority registration, meaning they get to choose their classes first, even in their first year. They save a full year of tuition by completing the degree in 3 years instead of 4, and they get started, they're enabling them to start graduate school or their professional opportunities right away. And even for majors that are not currently participating in the 3-year program, we can be flexible and accommodating for those who are interested in completing in 3 years. And through a combination of the ISP, the Independent Study Program, and the 3-year degree program, the vast majority of students who are interested in completing a degree in 3 years are able to do so at Hartwick. Next, please. So the last thing that Caitlin and I want to share with you before we open up the webinar to questions and answers, the last parts are to talk about a new strategic offering that we have at Hartwick College, which is just launched this year. So we're calling it Flight Path, and this refers to the opportunity that students have, each student at Hartwick has, to design their own flight path, to choose their own curriculum and their own co-curricular opportunities in order to create their own trajectory, their own future, their own direction that they want to head. Next, please, Jim. So Flight Path is a very diverse array of opportunities, programs, and projects that are available to all Hartwick students starting this year. For all 4 years or 3 years, if students choose to do the Degree in 3 program, the Flight Path experience enhances, enriches, and elevates what was already the excellent Hartwick College experience. And Flight Path does this in 3 specific ways, which are color-coded on this slide here. The orange refers to our new academic investments. The green refers to our new co-curricular experiences. And the blue references our real-world or career-ready opportunities that we are creating for each and every Hartwick student. So with FlightPath, we have invested substantial resources in developing new and enhanced opportunities for students in all of those areas. In the academic area, the FlightPath program has created a whole new reimagined first-year experience for students in their first year at Hartwick. There are a series of first-year courses that all students take. Following WIC Week, they do a first-year seminar in the fall semester in which they learn about the Oneonta community and their place at Hartwick. During the January term, which is our intensive mini semester in January, first-year students engage in something called a discovery trip, where they travel to a nearby major metropolitan area or perhaps to a national park or outdoor area and learn together in a small cohort of students and discover have academic discoveries as well as social and personal discoveries. And then in the spring semester, first-year students take something called 21st Century Modules, which are skill-based classes in which they focus on things like data literacy, scientific literacy, and cultural competency. The academic investments in FlightPath really set the foundation for the full Hartwick College experience over the next several years that students are with us. On the co-curricular side of things, the college has invested quite a lot of resources in hiring a plethora of new staff to enhance and enrich the co-curricular experience. So we now have programming 7 days a week. In addition to our beautiful facilities, we now have programming opportunities for students to engage with one another with food events, music events, festivals, art and craft activities, and a variety of other fun events throughout their evenings and weekends during their time at Hartwick. And so the green parts of FlightPath really focus on the enhancement of those co-curricular activities. On the real world side, the career side, we have expanded our career services department so that students now have access to career coaches, resume services, and a variety of workshops to get them ready for graduate school, for fellowships, and for things like internships. All of our students at Hartwick are encouraged to complete at least one internship with an outside partner during their time at Hartwick, and FlightPath gives us the resources to support those kinds of opportunities for students. We have a plethora of financial aid, assistance, fellowships, and scholarships available to support students conducting internships, including students that are doing internships abroad and outside the New York area. Many of our students choose to do those in the summers, and sometimes it's possible to do that over January term as well. In addition to career coaches, FlightPath also provides a full guidance team for each student at Hartwick. Every student is assigned an academic advisor, of course, in their area of interest and study. But now that we have FlightPath, each student also receives a success coach. This is a person who is designed to help provide a pathway to success for each and every student at Hartwick. And so every new student receives a success coach who helps them to navigate all of the many different offerings that we have at Hartwick. By their senior year, students have a success coach, a career coach, an alumni mentor, and an academic advisor who all work together to curate the students' Hartwick experience and enable them to design their own flight path. Next, please, Jim. So the way that, that students will begin their experience at Hartwick is through WIC Week and the beginning of this flight path kind of an experience. We recognize that all of these experiences are valuable and also that they're a significant investment for families and students. Next, please. And so we want to make sure that every student understands what the application process is like, the things that are required. We, of course, use the Common App and are working through our partners at MSM to streamline the process for students. We also know that one of the questions that students ask most frequently has to do with the financial investment that will be required to come to Hartwick College. Next, please. So this is a brief overview of our current tuition and fees for this academic year. For the coming academic year, the numbers will be quite similar. As a private, independent liberal arts college in the United States, of course, all of these amenities and services are not inexpensive, and our total cost, we recognize, is a substantial investment, which we think students will recognize will be worthwhile for their future as they take full advantage of everything that we have to offer. We do, of course, offer substantial merit-based discounts and scholarships that bring these fees down considerably. Next, please, Jim. So to give you an indication, if we could go to give you an indication, as I mentioned earlier, we have over $60 million of financial aid that is offered each and every year at Hartwick. Most merit-based awards for our students range between $100,000 and $152,000 for the 4-year experience. Our merit awards are given at the time of acceptance, so there are no additional forms that are required. There's no additional paperwork that's required to access that information. And specifically for our MSM partners, we have also reduced the application fee from $400 to $200 to make applying to Hartwick a more accessible option for students. Next, please, Jim. So we encourage folks to check us out online to learn more about the Flight Path experience and what Hartwick has to offer. Because Flight Path is so new, we have quite a lot of information on the website. And I know that MSM also has developed quite a lot of additional material to answer questions that folks may have about the Hartwick College experience. So just before we wrap up this section of the presentation and open it to any questions and answers, I'm actually going to ask Caitlin if she can join us, if I can pass the microphone to Caitlin one more time and ask her just to describe a little bit about what the international student experience is like for students at Hartwick, perhaps by referencing a few of our current international students.
Yeah, so I'm actually hoping that one of our students will be joining us shortly. Yeah, so we have students from various different parts of the world, and we have a very active international club on campus. And the international club, they plan like various different events, and we work together with the Global Ed office and their club. And we have students that are in, well, various different majors. Like some of the most popular majors for international students are like business administration and like biochemistry and psychology, computer science. And all of our students that I've talked to, they found a lot of support from their advisors, and they've also taken advantage of many of our international opportunities, such as like our J-term programs, which I mentioned earlier. So like one of our students from Brazil, she attended the J-term program in Portugal, where they learned about like winemaking, and that was with the business department, I believe. And we also have students that take advantage of our international internships. Like we have another student, let's see, yeah, like one student, she went to Austria and did like a music internship through the MSM fellowship scholarship. And yeah, so we provide like, I believe it's $5,000, and we have lots of funding that's available for our international students and all of our students, so they can apply. And often because like the international students, they work so closely like with my office, they're the ones who are like most aware of all the opportunities that they apply. So I have like one student in particular, and she's like taking advantage of 3 of these. So she's gone to like J-term and received a scholarship for that. She received a scholarship for her internship. And yeah, and then our students, they also have the opportunities to apply for jobs on campus. They can work up to 20 hours. And like some of our students work in the admissions department as like a tour guide, or they work for their academic department as a tutor, or they could work for the Global Ed office or the Career Development office. So it's a good opportunity to gain experience and earn some extra money. And they can also work up to 40 hours during the break, or yeah, when they're not in school. Yeah, so once our student arrives, I'll introduce her, and then she can share more about her experience personally.
Thank you, Caitlin. Caitlin's office is really the hub of everything global and international at Hartwick. It's a real home for our international students. And it also happens to be the location that has access to so many of those scholarships and resources. So it puts our international students really at the heart of the whole Hartwick experience. I should also mention, just before we move to question and answer, that we didn't spend so much time talking about the town of Oneonta, where Hartwick is located. It's a small town. We might describe it as a college town in the US parlance, which means that it's a town which really revolves around the opportunities and the experiences of what's happening both at Hartwick and at a neighboring institution, which is a state university in the State University of New York system. Is that campus is also located in the same town. And so there's a real sense of vibrancy and collegeness that's located in the town of Oneonta. So much of the social life of the town also revolves around the college. It's a very safe and welcoming place for students to be. And we find that there's a lot of synergy between the two campuses, and international students from both locations get to know one another. So I think this is the end of our formal presentation. I hope that a student will be joining us in a few minutes. And if she does, Caitlin can introduce her and she'll say a few words about herself. But Jim, I think perhaps I'll turn it back to you to see if we have any questions for the Q&A period.
Sure. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. We have a few questions that have already started coming in. I would request all the attendees to send in, put in your questions in the Q&A session so that we can answer you. So the first question is that what type of on-campus jobs do students, international students, get at Hartwick College?
Caitlin, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, so I think I answered part of it already, but a few more examples I can think of. So some of the most popular jobs are, like I mentioned, so in the different departments, so they could work for their academic department or for like the admissions, career services, facilities. Some students also work in the commons, which is like our dining hall. And so once students arrive, our office will help them apply for like a social security number, and they can like look at our job board, and some of the jobs will prioritize like our domestic students that have work study, but there are definitely still opportunities available for international students that they can apply for. And if the students are also able to find a job that relates to their major, so for example, one of our students, she is doing curricular practical training at a nearby hospital, and at that because she's a biochem major and also pre-med, so she's able to get experience that relates directly. And students can also apply for optional practical training after they graduate, and we can help them with that so that they can gain additional experience and to work in the US.
Sure.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Yeah, sure.
I'll also just mention one other thing. One of the very nice things about Hartwick is that because we're such a small institution with only 1,500 students, we get to know our students well. And Caitlin does an excellent job of helping each international student to find the right job for them on our campus. Students get a variety of opportunities over their 4 years. They might start out working as an administrative assistant in the financial aid office, for example, and then 1 year have a job as a tour guide on campus, and then a third year have a job off campus through our off-campus partners. So there really are a whole variety of opportunities which are really tailored to their specific interests.
Sure. Thank you so much for that detailed answer. The next question is, can you just give a little more brief about the safety of the campus, how safe the campus is?
Absolutely. So our campus is a residential campus, which is located on the edge of a very small town in a region of the state of New York, which is quite rural. So one of our hallmarks is that our campus really prides ourselves in being a community in which everyone knows everyone else, and in which we also have campus safety officers on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in the unlikely event that there is some safety concern. So students have access to safety officers all the time. In addition to that, we have a close and collaborative relationship with the city of Oneonta's police force, which is located just meters away from the main campus. I think that for many of our students, perhaps more for their parents than for the students, the safety of our campus is one of the things which is a big calling card for Hartwick. We're located in a very safe town, in a safe region, and the small scale of our community enables us to care for one another carefully.
Sure. Thank you so much for that detailed answer in terms of the safety aspect. The next question is related to COVID-19. So, are you having current in-person classes happening now, and what is your plan for fall 2021?
Thank you for that excellent question. Um, like most of the world, we have struggled with how to manage the pandemic this academic year because we are primarily a residential liberal arts college, and we really think that living together and learning together and growing together is an important part of who we are. We have worked very hard this year to have the vast majority of our classes be face-to-face, and the vast majority of our students are living on campus. We have invested tremendous resources as an institution to keep everyone safe and be able to do that in a way that is mindful of the pandemic and the risks associated with it, but that tries to prioritize our residential education. So we do, for example, we currently have a very robust COVID plan in place where all students, all faculty, and all staff receive surveillance testing for COVID-19 on a weekly basis. We have a very elaborate and detailed plan in place for isolation, quarantine, and support for anyone who might test positive for COVID-19. And we're very careful to make sure that students, faculty, and staff get the care that they need if they contract the virus, and also that they're able to experience that time in isolation or quarantine safely, and that they have everything that they need. Our current plans for fall of 2021 are quite similar to the plans that we have in place for this spring semester. That is, we anticipate that most or all of our classes will be held face-to-face, that students will get tested for COVID-19 before they arrive on campus, and that they will be in protective quarantine until such time as their tests are negative, and that we will still have isolation residence halls in place for students in case there are any breakthrough cases of COVID-19. We do also offer synchronous online learning for those students who are unable to participate due to COVID-19. And we anticipate that we will continue to do that throughout the fall semester, allowing students to either attend face-to-face, or if they're in quarantine or isolation, to attend virtually during the time that they're experiencing that.
Sure. Thank you so much. The next question is related to the housing. So the agent is asking that, what would be, can you give a little more brief about the housing structures and what are the facilities that students get, especially the international students?
Absolutely. So I'll let Caitlin add to this in just a moment, because she's actually spent more time physically on campus than I have recently because of COVID-19. I'll just give a general overview. We have, because we are a residential campus and we think this is a very important part of the experience, we require that all students live on campus unless they're from the nearby town of Oneonta and are still living with their parents. But otherwise, all of our students live on our residential campus. We have both traditional dormitories or residence halls where students have a roommate or perhaps two roommates if they're interested in getting the lower price for a triple room. Those facilities have common areas where students can gather, but do not have kitchen facilities that are available to students. So that's a traditional dormitory sort of a setting. And we also have townhouses where students do have their own kitchen facilities and their ability to be a bit more independent in their living. And we also have a handful of residential properties on the Pine Lake campus, the environmental campus, which is about 20 kilometers away from main campus. The facilities at Pine Lake are more rural and are popular with students who are majoring in environmental studies or who simply like the outdoors. We have beautiful facilities available for our students in all of our residence halls with great access to world-class athletic facilities, the cardio facility, the beautiful swimming pool, the hiking trails are all available to our students at any time. I often joke that it's a little bit like living at a resort, living at Hartwick College, because there are so many amenities available. Caitlin, do you want to add anything to that in terms of international students specifically?
I think you covered it all. Yeah.
Okay.
And our student who will be joining us is actually a resident advisor, so I'll ask her to talk about a little bit more about the residential opportunities.
Sure. Thank you so much. The next question that is being asked is about the student services related to placements, that is CPTs, OPTs, that is given to international students, and also a little about the placement rates, that is how many students get placed to to a particular company or get an admission to a graduate school within 6 months of time.
Great. So Caitlin, do you want to speak to the OPT part and I can talk about the graduate school part?
Okay. Yeah, so among our international students, we just had one student that was approved for OPT and then another 2 students that were doing OPT last year. And yeah, so helping students prepare for their OPT is a bit of a team effort. So both our career services and then also my office will assist the students in finding a suitable job and submitting their paperwork. So yeah, my office, we offer like a lot of immigration support from when we initially issue their I-20s all the way to when they want to transfer to graduate school or apply for OPT. And yeah, I think that's
great. Thank you, Caitlin. And in terms of the placement rate, we have the great luxury at Hartwick to have a large and dedicated team working in both global education and career development. So in the last several years, we have had a 100% placement rate for students who are interested in work after graduation. To be clear, we have not had hundreds of international students. And so we've been very successful in placing students in their preferred opportunities after their time at Hartwick. With the Flight Path Initiative, we have also invested tremendous resources in expanding the number of staff that we have in our career services office. And so we expect that we will continue to be able to offer that high level of service and have that high success rate in the future. In terms of graduate schools, we're very successful in placing students in graduate school opportunities that are directly related to our most popular majors. So we have a number of 4+1 arrangements where students who graduate from Hartwick are automatically accepted and enrolled in some of the top graduate programs in the US, particularly in fields such as business administration, environmental studies, and advanced degrees in nursing. And we have dedicated staff in the career services office that assist students with those graduate school applications. And of course, because we're a small institution with a very dedicated faculty that really gets to know their students, our faculty are also usually directly involved in advising students about graduate school opportunities and have been very helpful in steering students, especially international students, to the kinds of graduate programs where they're likely to be most successful.
Sure. Thank you so much. And this is wonderful news for our partners that having a 100% placement usually guides students to come towards the institution. The next question is, if you can give a little more insight on the nursing program, just to get an highlight of how strong the nursing program is and how international students can benefit from this particular program.
Absolutely. Thank you for that question. We're very proud of our nursing program. It is not only one of our most popular majors, but it is one of our most academically rigorous programs that we have at the college. We have an excellent faculty, both full-time academic faculty and clinical faculty of practicing nurses who engage with students throughout their 4-year experience in the nursing program. One of the features of our nursing program is that we really value and place a high priority on hands-on learning and experiential learning. So students engage in nursing clinicals from their very first year. Unlike some programs where you have to wait until your 2nd or 3rd or sometimes even 4th year to do nursing clinicals, we integrate that into the student experience in their very first year. So one of the real strengths of the program are the number and the variety of clinicals and hands-on experiences that students have. We also have a brand new simulation lab on campus, which enables students to engage in clinical practice even before they're seeing real patients. And that's a creative collaboration between our IT program and our theater program. So we engage theater students as participants. They pretend to be patients and practice their acting skills while our nursing students engage with them in a simulated way to practice their clinical skills. So we're quite proud of the academic components and the experiential portion of the nursing experience. We have a great track record of welcoming both international students and multicultural, multilingual US students into the nursing program. So it's a very diverse group of students and a diverse group of faculty who are accustomed to working across cultural divides and really learning from the experiences of all students.
Sure. Thank you so much. And that was a detailed explanation about the program. The next question is based on the entry requirements. What is the entry requirement in terms of the GPA system? That is, how much is a minimum that a student can needs to have to enter into Hartwick College, get admitted to Hartwick College?
Yeah, so I would actually have to refer to our most recent guidance from the admissions office for the specifics on that one. But I will say that in general, we are quite aware that there are different GPA systems and different rating systems around the world, which evaluate grades and experiences in different ways. So we take an individualized approach to looking at the full range of student experience. It isn't just GPA that is important to us, but a student's overall accomplishments and experiences, both academically and in terms of their co-curriculars. And so I would say that if an agent has a particular student whose GPA perhaps is not as high as we would like, or as you think is something that you think is not an accurate reflection of their true potential as a student, that I would encourage you to have them apply anyway and provide some explanatory information which rounds out the picture and description of them as a student, because we know that sometimes scores can be something which are artificially low due to things that really are beyond a student's control.
Sure. Thank you so much. The next question, and this is the final question, can you give a little more insight on the visibility of Hartwick College Alumni Association onto the campus, and how helpful this will be for international students to consider Hartwick College?
Thank you for that. It's an excellent question to end the conversation, because it really is a very significant part of the Hartwick experience. It's something that historically, we have always had a good relationship with our alumni, but we have perhaps not invested in those relationships as much as we could have to the benefit of our current students. So one of the things we're especially excited about with FlightPath is that we have gotten the resources to hire additional staff to work in our alumni affairs office, specifically with the job description of matching alumni with current students, in order to create opportunities for students to learn from them and to help them to secure their first job when they finish. So we're very excited about the new platforms that we're building. We have a new software system called TrueBlue Connect, which is kind of like LinkedIn for Hartwick alumni and students, which matches students and alumni during their Hartwick experience. It might be something as simple as a student is writing a research paper about an industry, and they would like an inside perspective. So they can go to TrueBlue Connect and they can look for an alumnus who has expertise in that field, who has volunteered to be interviewed by students. Or it might be something more along the lines of wanting an alum to help review your resume before you have your first job interview in a field. So it's a very powerful tool, and it's only been online for a few months, but we're already finding that it really is enabling alumni and students to connect in powerful ways and allowing alumni to remain connected to the college and giving students access to thousands and thousands of Hartwick alumni that can sort of help expand their professional network, even from their earliest days as students. For international students in particular, I think one of the most exciting things about TrueBlue Connect is that most of our alumni have very fond memories of their time on campus, and international students and international travel were a key part of that experience for for those alumni. And so they're very keen to connect with international students in particular, and to help them have the same good experience that they had as students when they were on Orion Hill. So our international students are among our early adopters of that True Blue Connect technology. And we're very excited about all the opportunities that it will present for them going forward.
Sure. Thank you so much. I think our international student is joined. So Caitlin, can you just ask the student to talk a little about the experience of Hartwick College?
Yeah. Hi. Hi, welcome, Akita. It's good to
Hi,
see you.
I'm so
Good.
sorry. My class I just got out of class like 2 minutes ago. Anyway, hi everyone. I'm a junior right now, so it's my third year. I'm majoring in biochemistry and Spanish, and I'm also in the pre-med track. So one thing that's different from India, I guess, is like over here you can major in any subjects and then take your MCAT and then go to med school, compared to India, where usually, we get into med school just after 12th grade. And in terms of my experience, it has been like great. So first I heard about Hartwick was through a common application. And the main thing that attracted me was like the small college experience, because like, as you know, like I'm from India, I'm actually from Calcutta. So we had a lot of students back at home. And do you know about South Point College, South Point School? Jim, right?
Yes. Yeah, I've heard of the school in Kolkata, right?
Yeah, so it was like in our section, it was like 70 people, and like there were like 8 or 9 sections. So like our graduating class was like 800 or more than that. So it was just too much. And so I really enjoyed my experience. Like I'm still enjoying like the small class sizes. So that was one of the reasons. And the second important reason for me at that time, I came here in 2018, fall of 2018, was that it had a 3-year bio program. So I was interested in that. And then eventually I switched to biochemistry, which is like a 4-year degree program. And yeah, it has been really nice. The faculty experience has been great. Like we would literally discuss our life or in general, like career plans over like a coffee or something, or we would go out kayaking. It's very like close relationships. In terms of campus experience, I have been like able to be in e-board positions in a lot of clubs, and also join Greek life and had experience from that. And last year in January, Hartwick has some programs called J-Term, where a lot of students participate in abroad programs. So I went to like London, and we watched like 20 theater dramas and like musicals, and we wrote reports on it and also like toured. And that was one of the amazing experiences I've had so far. Last summer, I got this entrepreneurial fellowship where we were supposed to go to San Francisco and like volunteer in a startup, but like due to COVID, it was canceled. But it was something I was like able to do if not for COVID. And yeah, that kind of sums up. I think I was just talking so fast, but it has been a lot of experiences in these 3 years.
Sure. Thank you so much for your wonderful experience. And this will actually motivate all our partners who are currently hearing you to send more students, especially from India and different parts of the subcontinent of India. Thank you so much for your valuable time. And since we're running out of time, there are a few questions that have come up, but we will answer it to you via email. So you can get in touch with our admission executive, who will be sharing her details in the chat section. So you can connect with us, and I will request Dr. Patty to tell your closing line, and followed by Caitlin.
Thank you so much, Jim. And let me thank Ankita very much for joining us. Caitlin and I could share many different perspectives about Hartwick from a staff perspective, but there's nothing ever as powerful as hearing it from a student perspective. And the fact that Ankita joined us just coming from class, and that she was so conscientious to come, even though she was rushing back from her class this morning, I think really speaks to the power of the Hartwick College experience. Our students learn and play and grow together. And the many opportunities that she described are very typical of what life is like for all of our students at Hartwick. But we find that especially for our international students, they take full advantage of the many opportunities that we provide. And so we look forward to welcoming many more international students in the future. I'll turn the last word to Caitlin in case she wants to say something for future international students that will be working with her.
Yeah, I just want to say welcome to Hartwick. We're always glad to have all of our international students. And thank you so much, Ankita, for joining us. And Ankita is also the president of our international club, and she's a resident advisor and very hardworking, and just won our Cyrus Mary Fellowship. So I'm just really excited to have like some of our international students are our most engaged and active students on campus. So we really welcome anyone to come join us.
Sure. So thank you so much, Dr. Patty, Caitlin, and Ankita for your valuable time. So before we sign off, we at MSM are excited to have partnered with Hartwick College. For those agents who are viewing the recorded version later on, stay tuned as we will have more upcoming webinars on Hartwick College. We'll request all our attendees to follow us on our Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube platform to stay updated on our upcoming events. You can also visit our website, that's www.msquaremedia.com, to get further updates. Thank you for participating in today's webinar, a launch webinar. We hope to see you again. Once again, thank you so much.